Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. After spending well over 20 plus hours in Wolong Fallen Dynasty so far, I wanted to bring you guys the ultimate beginner's guide to make your journey a lot easier and way more enjoyable. If you played Sekiro or even the Nioh series, then you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Wolong Fallen Dynasty is a fast-paced action RPG that rewards aggressive playstyle. Similar to other Souls-like games, this type of game requires a lot of patience and a mastery of timing. I made a list of things every player should know before they jump into this game, and I promise after watching this video, your playthrough is going to be a lot easier. Welcome to the Wolong Fallen Dynasty Ultimate Beginner's Guide. Wolong Fallen Dynasty's combat is where this game really shines. Just like other action RPG games, for example, Sekiro, Nioh, and even Elden Ring, blocking and dodging is important, but not as important as deflecting. Now, if you're familiar with Sekiro and the parry system, this game is similar. Deflecting is going to allow you to redirect your enemy's attack. Timing this action to meet the enemy attack not only allows you to redirect the attack, it will also lower the enemy's spirit and shrink the lower end of the enemy's spirit gauge. At the same time, it will also increase your own spirit. Now, even though you have the ability to dodge or even block, enemy critical blows, as you can see here when they turn red, can only be deflected. If you successfully redirect an enemy's critical blow, the power of the deflect increases and you can significantly break the enemy's stance and recover your own negative spirit. In Wolong Fallen Dynasty, you have two attacks. You have your basic attack, depending on whatever weapon you have is going to determine the moveset, obviously, but you also have spirit attacks. When you start combat, your spirit gauge will be neutral, and as you hit enemies or deflect their attacks, your spirit gauge will start building up, meaning it will increase towards the right side and it will be blue. Now, if you take hits and fail to deflect the enemy attacks, the spirit gauge will increase to the left side and it will be orange. This is why you really have to be careful choosing when and where you are using your spirit attacks, because every time you spam your spirit attacks, your spirit gauge is going to decrease to the left on the orange side. If you completely deplete your spirit and you get attacked by an enemy and you fail to dodge, block, or deflect it, it's going to break your stance and leave you defenseless for a couple of seconds, and that's something you don't want. As you progress through the game and level up your character, you're going to be focusing on 5 different virtues, and this is going to determine ultimately what kind of build you are going to have. The wood virtue affects HP and the amount of spirit lost when attacked. The fire virtue affects the amount of spirit gained when attacking and the amount of spirit consumed by martial arts. The earth virtue affects the equipment weight limit and the amount of spirit gained when deflecting an attack. The metal virtue affects the duration that a high level of spirit can be maintained for and the spirit consumed by wizardry spells. And last but not least, we have the water virtue, which affects how easily enemies can detect you and the amount of spirit consumed when deflecting. The virtue that you choose to level up also correlates with the weapon that you are using. So for example here, I am using Swordsman Dual Swords. I have these upgraded +5. You can see here my attack power is 325. But right here below, similar to other action RPGs, different weapons scale with different types of virtues. These dual swords, for example, make the most sense for my build because it has A- scaling towards the water virtue. So the higher I increase the water virtue, it's going to allow me to get the most damage possible with this weapon. Now, for example, if I decided to increase my wood virtue, I wouldn't get as much damage compared to leveling up my water virtue. The way you decide to level up your character is also going to determine what wizardry spells you have access to. So for example here, since I'm mainly focusing on the water virtue, I have access to a lot of wizardry spells here. As you continue to level up each virtue, you will gain access to more powerful wizardry spells. Just to show you guys an example, since I'm primarily making a water build right now, I'm going to show you 4 of my wizardry spells. The first one here is Cloud Stance. For a certain period of time, reduces consumption of spirit when deflecting. I also have the Ice Weapon, which I love using against enemies that are fire-based. For a certain period of time, enchants your current melee weapon with ice. I also have Alacrity Haste, which increases movement speed for a certain period of time. This is great when you use it against bosses. It allows you to get out of engagements and move around the map very quickly. And the last one here, Frozen Spear Trap, sets an icy trap by your feet. Enemies that step on the trap will be impaled by sharp icicles and take damage. The most important thing about these spells is they're not accessible right when you start a mission. If you look closely here, the Cloud Stance is the only one that I can use because it requires 0 morale. Now if we move over to Ice Weapon and the Alacrity Haste, we need 7 morale to use it. Same thing with the Frozen Spear Trap, we need 3 morale. Now, this leads me to my next topic, which is morale and fortitude. The next thing we have to talk about is morale and fortitude. Now, to keep it simple, Wolong's morale system is a measure of how many enemies you've killed without dying. A character's morale, both yours and your enemies, contributes to how powerful that character is. The higher the morale, the tougher the fight. When you kill enough enemies, your morale goes up. When an enemy kills you, your morale goes down and theirs goes up, which means the next time you encounter that specific enemy, it's going to be a little tougher. Now, to prevent yourself from losing too much morale, you have to raise your fortitude. Now, fortitude is the lower limit to your morale, so your morale will never fall below your fortitude. As you play missions, you are going to find small marker flags that are different from the battle flags. Every time you raise a marker flag, it will increase your fortitude rank, and it will also replenish your healing potions. The best thing about the morale system is that it allows you to prepare for battle. So let's say, for example, you have to fight a boss that has a morale rank of 20 and you are stuck at 15. Well, at that point, you would kill all of the NPCs around the map, so that way when you enter the boss fight, you are either at the same morale rank or even higher. Next thing on the list is the reinforcements or the companion system in Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Now, this system is the reason why this is probably the easiest Souls-like game that you can play. As you play the game, you will be introduced to a lot of different characters, and as you build bonds with those characters, you will have the ability to summon them as a reinforcement. Now, you can see here I have a huge list of reinforcements that I can choose from. Before choosing a companion, it's important to look at which virtues they excel at, because at the end of the day, depending on what type of mission or what type of boss you are fighting, you want to make sure you're choosing the right companions. Every time a companion joins you on your missions, they are going to level up over time, and the higher the oath level, as you can see here for each character, the better they are going to perform, which means they're going to stay alive, they will do more damage, and they will make better decisions. My favorite companion, Zhang Fi, he is now my sworn brother because I leveled him up to level 10, and the best thing is, after you level up each companion to the max level, level 10, you get their armor set, which is pretty cool. You can summon up to 2 companions to help you on your missions, but just remember, every time you die, you will need to resummon them, and you'll have to use a Tiger Seal. Now, the Tiger Seals are pretty easy to find, so you shouldn't have any issues getting some assistance with your missions. Next, I want to talk about progression, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I think it's important for you guys to know this. So, as you can see at the top here, I am currently on Part 4, Chapter 4, whatever you want to call it, and you can see a couple of different missions in this area. Now, this one specifically is labeled as Main Battlefield. Anything that says Main Battlefield is going to be your next main mission, progressing you further into the main quest line. Now, I have to be level 49, and currently at the moment, I am under-leveled. So one of the best things about this game is you're not locked to a certain mission. If you feel under-leveled and you feel like you don't have the right gear, you can do side missions. So what I have to do is find a sub-battlefield mission in the same area. We have one right here, Like Father, Like Son. It's a sub-battlefield, recommended level 41, so this one's a little bit easier for me. You also get some extra rewards, some weapons, armor, materials, and the best thing is, after this mission, I will most likely be ready for the main mission. Wolong Fallen Dynasty does have a stealth system, and I highly recommend taking advantage of this. Stealth attacks are a fantastic way to destroy a high morale enemy's health bar before the fight even begins. As you play missions and submissions in Wolong Fallen Dynasty, you will obviously be rewarded with currency. In this game, it's copper. Now, every battle flag gives you the ability to purchase supplies, and there is something specific I'm going to recommend purchasing every single time you die. It's going to make your playthroughs a lot easier and way more forgiving. Since you're already here, it's always a great idea to buy some arrows. Arrows are an easy way to kill low-level enemies from distance, so I recommend purchasing a couple of these. But if we go all the way to the bottom, we have the 5 minerals powder. The 5 minerals powder is a psychotropic drug made from the 5 types of minerals, used to prevent your morale rank from dropping the next time you die. It's a good idea to purchase the 5 minerals powder. It's going to lock in your morale rank just in case you die, just so you can get back on your feet a lot quicker. Eventually, when you reach a certain point in the story, you will gain access to the Hidden Village, and the Hidden Village is a great place to upgrade your character. This is a safe zone full of other NPCs you can speak with, but the main reason we're here today is to show you some important characters that you should know. The most useful NPC that you need to know about, especially in the early hours of the game, is the blacksmith. This is where you would go to upgrade your character, your armor, your weapons, purchase new items, and even sell your items as well. As soon as you spawn in, make your way down this branch to the right side. The blacksmith is actually very close. From the blacksmith menu, you'll be able to upgrade your character using different materials that you obtain during main missions and submissions. Next on the list, we have embedment. Embedment is a system in the game that allows you to extract one gear's special effect and apply it to another piece of gear. Next, we have decorate, and this is actually one of my favorite things about Wolong. I love the fact that you can change the appearance of your gear without sacrificing the attributes that it gives you. So for example, let's say we want to change my chest piece. Now, I already had a decoration on, so this is my current chest piece. Now, let's say I want to change the appearance of this, so I would go to decorate, and based on the loot that I have picked up since I started playing the game, is going to determine how many options I have if I want to change my appearance on my gear. We can go ahead and change the appearance to Armor of Rampancy. You also have the ability to salvage gear to get materials back, and this is a great way to get rid of a lot of your loot, because in this type of game you will be getting a lot of loot drops, and most of them you're not going to use, so you can salvage them for materials, or you also have the option to sell those items. Thank you all so much for being here and watching the guide. If you have any additional tips, please don't hesitate, let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. Thank you all so much. Also, if you want to see more Wolong Fallen Dynasty builds coming very soon, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel, and also turn on those bell notifications so you are notified every time I drop a new video.